Chandler.
Unofficial. Travis Perry hit the last shot. Jack, since you have to go, let's start with some takeaways. We named some standouts on the internet. You know Andrew Carr, you know Lamont Butler, you know Amari Williams, but hello Colin Chandler tonight, huh?
So Colin was really interesting because he kind of kept doing showing little flashes here and there throughout the game where you were like, he's a little bit further along than I maybe thought. And, you know, as the game kept going on, he would get to his spots and the vision would be there very clearly for him. And then the very end kind of just starts taking it to a whole different level. And you're like, Colin Chandler he's a player. Still, I think just big picture, the entire team is just kind of figuring each other out. They're getting comfortable with each other, knowing where they're going to be, and just learning their chemistry, learning to trust one another. So the idea of a lot of what they do is better than the current product. But if the raw product of what we have right now is going to lead to a well-oiled machine that I think we're going to very clearly see by the end of the year, even early in the non-conference schedule, I think Kentucky, I have seen enough to know that this Kentucky team, I don't know how great they're going to be, but I feel really good that they're going to be good. I feel I can say with absolute confidence that this is a good Kentucky basketball team.
Get your next takeaway ready, Stephen, in one sentence. Can we get a recap from you, sir? Are you a fan?
Yeah, I've been a longtime fan my whole life. Go Cats!
What did you think of tonight?
I think Mark Pope is a really good coach, and we have a really good team. Go Cats!
All right, that man's headed back to El Mariachi where he started before the event. Back to you, Jack. I was going to add a little bit about some Colin Chandler. Hopefully you all get to see that dunk. We're going to put that on the internet. My man's got some bounce. My man was hitting some three-pointers. There at the end, he had two Elam endings hit the back of the rim. Either one of those I thought were going in. Love seeing stuff from him. I'm not ready to commit to a new favorite player, but I had a lot of fun watching Amari Williams tonight. His shot, I don't know. What is going on? Are we good?
Go, Drew Franklin! I don't know what's going on. Hey, Drew!
But the vision and the passing for a man his size that's a defensive player of the year in his old conference, that dude is unbelievable with the rock, and the offense is going to run through him in the high post.
And he's just a mountain of a man. You just walk in and his shoulders are this wide. He just looks like Hercules. And like you said, the vision and the touch and the feel is just so clearly there that when, it's like he's 2-3 steps ahead of other guys who maybe just be one step ahead. It's like he's seeing things that the other guys just aren't yet, but the offense is clearly running through him, and he's just so freakishly athletic, so freakishly long that that guy's a player. Some of the feedback that you talking to people around Drexel is, maybe not the toughest guy in the world, maybe a touch soft, and conditioning could be problematic at times, and foul trouble, some things like that keep him off the floor. But it seems like he's worked on a lot of those kind of nitpicky things to kind of unlock the best version of Amari Williams. I just love what I see from him. I think he's a player, and I think those two together, Andrew Carr together. I think Andrew Carr was absolutely tremendous. Every time we've seen him up to this point, he's been absolutely tremendous. I think those two together, I think there's a lot to like about Kentucky's front court, and if anything, that was the biggest question mark coming into the season was the front court. So if that's looking as good as it is, I'll take everything else to kind of figure itself out in the backcourt.
We've seen the team a lot. This is the first time really seeing live action. Are we feeling good about the defense? Lamont Butler showed off a little bit what we saw at San Diego State, what we've been hearing out of the summer. But I thought they were very aggressive. It's one of those things where, like, when they get a steal, I don't know if should be mad at the offense or, kind of seeing that tonight. But I thought we did see some good things defensively out of them, too, even though that's not going to be their strength.
Split, and we have specialty guys. And Lamont Butler is a specialty defender, but he is the highest of high levels, especially in the post. I mean, you can make an argument that he might be Kentucky's best post defender at this point, which is shocking considering he's a 6'2" point guard. You love what you see from Lamont Butler. Otega Owe was just a freak in the passing lane, just so active and attentive, and just has a really good feel on the defensive end. Those two, exactly what they're going to be. They're going to be sure things. Everywhere else, we'll see. It's a work in progress. A lot of really good specialty guys where there's three-point snipers that they're not going to give you much on the other end. There's playmakers who might not give you much on the other end. Pure defenders that might not give you enough. So finding that balance, I'm really interested to see what the lineups are going to look like, because it was easy to see the back and forth between the two of them together on the floor, but how they're going to look in terms of finding out that rotation, what the lineups are going to look like, I think that's going to be probably one of our next, the thing that I'm keeping a closest eye on going into exhibition season starting Wednesday against Kentucky Wesleyan.
We need to get you in there for the press conference. Any final thoughts? What are you going to ask Mark Pope? Anything? You got a question ready? You want to practice on us?
Just overall turnout, what the vibe of the night was. Was it did it reach expectations for what they wanted for the fan turnout, what it was going to raise with NIL? Because again, like we talked about, consider this the Caleb Wilson fundraiser. Consider this the Chris Cenac fundraiser. This was about those guys. So yes, do you wish that it was 100% turnout with Go Big Blue chants from start to finish? Yeah, obviously we would want that. But if the $100, $150, $200, $1,500 tickets that were sold to get butts in seats tonight, if that ends up with us landing a Caleb Wilson or Chris Cenac and using that money for that, it was a very successful night. I love the basketball. I think the Kentucky team is very, very good. But I think the big picture idea of what this night is going to be about is the fact that they raised a good little chunk of change for NIL, and that's ultimately what matters.
Lots of fun here. We'll let you go in there. You got to work. I don't want you being late. I'm going to give it to Brandon, not to skip over you, Phoenix, but we did just pull him off the street. I don't know, he could have a dinner reservation. I just made you hop in this. Brandon, what did you think of tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was exciting to see the team on the court. Like the pro day is one thing, Big Blue Madness is another thing, but being able to actually watch them compete, it's just a little bit different. There's a little bit different buzz in the air, and at times it was hard to remember that.
Go Cats!
This was two of our own teams out there, and I think that's something that can be easy to forget. Like you're watching them, and you mentioned, like, is it good when the defense gets a steal? Is it bad when the offense turns it over? And I think that going into exhibition season, you're going to get to see now the 10-11 man rotation take shape, as opposed to having to play some of the pieces there when you're playing 5-on-5 against each other. But I mean, I tweeted it out. Like, I'm not saying Colin Chandler was the best player on the court, but it was darn close.
Yeah.
Like, he was incredibly impressive. Like, I think, the consistency you're going to get from guys like Lamont Butler, Jackson Robinson, Andrew Carr, that's on a different level. But, I mean, Colin Chandler, like, throughout this offseason, I think we've gone from, like, okay, it's going to be hard to keep him off the floor to, this guy might have a chance to be a potential NBA draft pick down the road to, like, I think this timetable is starting to speed up. I'm not going to compare it to the way it did with Rob Dillingham and Reed Shepherd, but like it's starting to have a little bit of a feel where like this guy's a lot further along than what we thought.
You're an expert ball knower. We read your stuff on the site. You've been talking about what Pope's bringing for so long. A lot of fans got to see it for the first time. Some still wanting to see it, but just briefly, this offense and just the change. What do you think how this is going to look when they really get going? Now that you got a small taste of it inside.
It's going to look great. It's going to be really fun to watch. Tonight, understandably so, was still pretty vanilla. Like, there wasn't a million set plays. It wasn't super intricate in terms of what they were doing offensively, but you're still getting to see, I think, two things. First and foremost, how quickly they get the ball into the scoring area off of misses and makes. Like, they're getting the ball down, kind of like the way Bellarmine used to play when they were really popular offensively, where they're getting the ball kind of into the scoring area at 25, 26 seconds still on the shot clock. And that makes it really hard to guard a team with this amount of spacing, this amount of skill for 25, 26 seconds on the shot clock. And then every time they get down the court, I've talked about the controlled freedom of this offense, and like they get right into their actions. They know what they're going to do. Now they read and react off of it, but as soon as the ball gets to Amari Williams at the top of the key, like you're right into that zoom action. Somebody's running off, and we're into offense, and it's really fun and exciting to see. And especially when you have four men like Andrew Carr and Ansley Almanar, some of the things they can do running off of screens and making shots behind screens, it's really impressive. And I'm really excited to continue to see it get more and more intricate as we get into exhibition season.
Well, thanks for joining us off the street.
Absolutely.
I know you'll have plenty to say about this on KentuckySportsRadio.com. Good run into you.
Yep.
Let's get into a little of the women's team, Phoenix. They started the night. My big takeaway before we jump into yours, I've been watching them 3 coaches ago. I've never seen Kentucky women's basketball have size like they do. I mean, I'm doing double takes looking at some of these women, because it's not just they went out and found one. I mean, they've got 3 with some legit size, and they could shoot too.
Right, and that's the great part of it. It was really good to see this team finally, kind of like Brandon said about the men's team. It's really good to see them in action. You have people all summer, people like myself, just talk about how good this team's going to be, and we finally got a glimpse of it. And it's like you just touched on, especially with the players in the post. Clara Silva, she can shoot threes. She's 6'7". She can shoot threes. What on earth is that? Claire Strack, she can pass the ball too. That's really nice to have. And then I thought Tiani Key, she's 6'4". She might not play the 5 as much, probably the 4. But it was really nice to see her shoot. They ran a set where she came off a pick, and then Strack passes it to her from the perimeter, and then she lays it in. It was really good to see that size there.
I got to see Georgia Moore for the first time. You hear so much about her. I've seen clips of Virginia Tech. This is my first time really watching her. She can shoot. I know she can do a lot of things, but I had a lot of fun just watching her shoot the ball. I mean, that's a true, like, elite talent that Kenny Brooks has brought into Lexington. I cannot wait to see her get out there and play someone else other than her own team.
And I mean, she was an All-American last season, right? And you can see it. I mean, she can shoot, she can pass. She really just makes everyone around her better, and in turn, that's what makes this team. You know, it's what's going to help them reach their potential.
We've touched on this with Kenny Brooks' big entrance, the swag he was dripping all throughout Rupp Arena last Friday when it took him 15 minutes to get to the court. But just him walking around, the man has got some juice and some swagger. I don't know how to describe it, but he is bringing a level of cool. I mean, I love Matthew Mitchell. He brought entertainment. He was his own personality, but this is like a calm and quiet cool. I'm really liking what he's bringing to the program. Are you feeling good about the way things are moving with them moving forward? I'm like almost too confident in what I think of that team, not knowing a lot about how they'll look, but are we feeling good about the collective group that he brought in?
Definitely, for sure. And while we were in there, kind of things were dying down. Of course, there's that long intermission that was just ridiculous.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute.
I talked to one of the assistants, and I probably wasn't supposed to, but I did. And I was like, so, what are the vibes? What's everybody? And she's like, dude. She's like, first of all, thank you for what you do. And that was nice. But she was like, this is the greatest we've felt in God knows how long. She was like, we're coming in here. Big Blue Nation is insane, and that's helping us get better each and every day. You know, they're putting in work. Everything's still a work in progress. Like, perimeter defense was one thing I noticed. I was like, we're kind of struggling there. But, you know, the thing about this team is that they're working each and every day. They're getting better every time I see them. Like Cassidy Rowe, for example, from Virgie. You know, we all love to see her do well. She came out and she shot the lights out. And behind Georgia, so obviously she's not going to start because you have Georgia there at the point guard. But she's going to play more minutes than most of us thought she would. And, I mean, as someone who is also from this state, I'm really proud of her individually.
I don't know how Cassie's doing in practice, but watching her tonight, she is a vocal leader for sure. She is getting in everyone's face, clapping, pumping them up. You can tell she's someone that's been in the program a long time. The women wrapped it up hitting 2 half-court shots. Georgia Moore, again, she hit everything I think I saw her shoot. I believe Sanaya Tyler hit the other one to wrap that up. Really a fun night with them. They led straight in the men. I'm going to see, y'all have a few takeaways? Can you say anything for us? Do you have a favorite moment, favorite player? Who looked? Let me start with the youngins here. Who's your favorite player tonight?
Number 5.
Number 5. I think that was Colin Chandler. Did you see that dunk? What about you?
Number 5 as well. I actually got a picture with him on my phone.
Oh,
here.
nice. You guys follow Kentucky closely? Big fans?
Yeah.
Have you ever been to any event like this? You been to Madness or any games?
Nah, I haven't been, but I don't know about them.
Oh, so that was probably a pretty special experience then. Did you have a lot of fun?
Yeah, it was very nice. Really nice Coliseum.
What about you all? Have a lot of fun?
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah.
We're going to beat Duke?
Oh, yeah.
Can I get a Go Cats real quick?
Go Cats!
I'm actually moving to North Carolina in a little bit, so I'll be over there.
You better keep wearing that. You need to wear that as much as possible.
Yes, sir.
We'll represent Big Blue there in Carolina. Nice to meet you guys. Do you have a favorite player over there? Sorry, I'm holding the microphone. Ask you a question. 20 minutes.
I thought Amari Williams looked really good. I like his aggressive play. He looked strong.
That's what I led with. How about the passing from him?
Yeah, I thought he moved great for a big man out there. And Colin Chandler's shot looked really good. I was glad to see him. You know how good he was playing, and thought the whole team looked really good though.
Did you enjoy the overall experience?
And Kobe Brea.
Yes. She got to walk out Kobe Brown.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let me ask about that. Did you all have a handshake?
No, I told him, I said, I'm probably too old to know like a super cool handshake. So we tried to amp up the crowd a little bit and high five. But he was super nice.
What was it like before the walkout? Did you just get to spend a few minutes with him before? Did you get to see anything interesting?
It was. We got to chat. I told him how big of a fan I was, how excited we all are for Big Blue Nation to see this team play, and how excited we are just for everyone, even, Mark Pope being here. It's just a really exciting time, so.
Was he like your favorite player now that you got to walk him out?
Yes. So I met him previously at one of the other events, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this guy is so nice. And of course, he's a great player. I mean, there's so many nice guys on this team, so it's easy to like them all.
Well, cool. There was a lot of fun. Thanks for talking with us. A lot of fun fan interactions tonight. They had some blindfolded shooting contests. I'm going to post this video later, but a man took the worst blindfolded shot I've ever seen. If he had just turned and shot straight right, I'm not sure it could have been. Well, he did turn and shoot straight right. But it was. I don't want to say there's too much of that, but I mean, if you're in the building, there's a high probability you got to be part of the fan experience. We had kid rebounders and warm-ups, adults getting the half-court shot, the high fives, assistant coaches. Right. I think, Steven, you're not the only ones that Phoenix didn't get invited to do anything.
Right, and of course, the good thing is, as unfortunate as it was that the TV and all that. It was really the interactive part. I think it lived up to what it was hyped up to be. I mean, there's people. I took a picture and a post on social media talking about the women's part of it. Georgia Amores is sitting courtside talking with, I don't know how, she's a 5-year-old kid just for 30 minutes straight. And that's really cool to see that, these people, yes, they're paying a lot of money for this, but they're getting a lot out of it too.
Yeah, when the women got done and the men are on the court, they just show the crowd, and the women are just in the crowd sitting with fans, taking pictures. I mean, if you were here and didn't meet a player or do something cool, I think that's on you because they had so many opportunities. One news note I don't think we mentioned yet, Kerr Kriisa came out wearing Crocs. Don't know what's up with that, but he didn't play. He was in street clothes. He has the Crocs Recovery Mellow Slide. Personal endorsement. I have those too. I love those. Kerr has great taste in footwear, but I don't know why he wasn't available. But write down in your notes from tonight, Kerr Kriisa not available. Other than that, we mentioned Travis Perry hitting the Elam ending. I'd say his minutes increased because of Kerr Kriisa being out. He played a lot of guard. I've been wondering what Travis Perry will be defensively because we know he's a lights-out shooter, and how he can defend in the SEC will determine how much minutes he gets. But at the end of the game, when they needed a bucket in the Elam ending, Travis Perry locked up. I mean, I don't know if that'll translate to a real game, but he was very aggressive defensively. Love seeing stuff out of him. Trent Noah. It's not UK's campus without an ambulance. Trent Noah, Ansley Almanor, just a couple guys we don't know as well, hit some big shots. It's really hard to get a good feel of what kind of minutes these guys are going to get. One thing's unique with Pope's system, no one's going to have to play too much. So if you see a flaw in a player, you can remind yourself, hey, he's going to play 20 minutes. Amari Williams, kind of the knock on him is foul trouble. All right, fine. Got Brandon Garrison. I just think with all the pieces Mark Pope has and the way he plays, we're going to see just about everyone we've been naming in different roles, and that's what he talked about. He recruits them to play specific positions. Hello, how are you? I feel like we need to get inside for Mark Pope. We could potentially be locked out. I don't even know if we're still recording, but Steven smiled. I think that's a yes. So for Phoenix, Jack, the random Brandon Ramsey sighting, the random Ryan Lemon sighting, and all the hard work Steven does behind the camera, we're thanking you for watching us here on KSR's YouTube. We're going to do this again tomorrow. We're going to have Nick and Adam in Gainesville for the big football game. Stop laughing at me. I'm trying to wrap this up. Phoenix pregame show at 4:30 from KS Bar and Grill. Go Cats, fun night from historic Memorial Coliseum.